Did you press play?
Oh yeah, no, it's good.
Okay,
I just want to make sure. I got that.
Sweet. Welcome to Chat It Up. We appreciate you, wonderful fathers out there. I hope you had a great Father's Day. Hey, GT.
Hey,
happy first Father's Day.
happy
dog.
first Father's Day to you too.
Joseph. Happy pre-Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, boys.
He's an uncle.
Day.
He's an uncle.
Yeah.
He's an uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle Joseph, and I like it.
Yeah,
We appreciate you, Joseph. We appreciate your dad. Sounds like a good one.
he's a great guy.
So appreciate you, Papa Joseph. Welcome to Chat It Up. If you would please like and subscribe and all the fun things. They say it's better if you do it at the start, so we're going to do that now.
It's part of our process.
Yeah. Growth. Hashtag grind. All that cool stuff. Speaking of grinding, boys, I'm going to get right to it. This is a great time in life as a Tennessee Vols fan. The Vols are 2-0 in Omaha. That never happens.
That's never happened.
Never.
That actually physically has never happened.
Literally never happens. I'm going to light the fires here with the little Zevia.
Oh,
Chase Green right there, lighting the fires, bringing it back to the old radio days.
nice.
Yeah, I forgot Zevia has that.
But he
much juice.
forget. Well, he also forgot we're on camera, so everyone can watch him just spill that all over his pants. But
It was perfect. It was
beautiful.
absolutely perfect.
If you've not hit up a Zevia in a while, dang boys, that's good.
watch out.
It's good. It's pricey
Really?
for a 0-calorie
Soda.
soda that's not got a whole lot in it. Yeah,
So carbonated water.
it's carbonated water that's
Carbonated
got a
water.
little bit of good flavor in it.
Oh, you're gonna hate what I'm drinking. I got a blue Powerade mixed with Celsius. I've been mixing anything with Celsius.
You sure did, bud.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that here because this is a
Family friendly.
family friendly show. But listen, I've been like regular drinks with the Celsius. It's like, wow, I'm getting hydrated from the Gatorade and hyped up from the Celsius all at the same time. It's amazing.
It's an interesting combination.
Very.
It's my combination.
But it's good though.
Like, listen, if I didn't know better, the Tennessee Vols are drinking that in their dugout and they're winning these games, and that's what I think.
Powering them to 2-0.
Yeah,
Powering them to 2-0. How good was that catch by Hunter Ensley in center field? Did you watch that?
My God,
dog.
dude.
Hit that wall.
Basically a car crash.
Well, yeah,
Against
I
the
think he
wall.
set out the rest of the game too because it's like his knee was wobbly. He was all hyped up on adrenaline.
Yeah. He's like, I have no idea where I am right now.
But
That
dude-
was awesome.
But shout out to the Vols, man. I love it. And I mean, for the first time since 1956, you had somebody on our team hit for the cycle for the, it's been 1956, right? So that's 60, 70 years
Yeah.
Second time ever in the
Ever.
World Series. Ever.
ever.
That's
And that
amazing.
was
Hit for the
Christian
cycle
Moore.
in a
So
game.
shout out to that. I mean, he went from a top 16 pick to a top 5, in my opinion.
And that went so crazy too because at what? With an out left, you're like, he's going to hit for the cycle. We're going to lose.
I know.
That's the wild part to me is like, wow, there was a point where somebody hit for the second cycle ever in the College World Series, and they were going to lose pretty much 11-8, 11-9 maybe.
Yeah.
11-9, I guess, with an out.
Yeah.
And then we do magical things, and Tony V turns that team around. I was battling, boys. Took a little NyQuil on Friday night.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man, I don't know if I can.
You took a NyQuil during a game?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. It was 11-7, and I was like, we're moving pretty quick. I'll be fine. It won't hit me that fast. Pretty used to sleep aids. So I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. I wasn't fine. I hadn't taken NyQuil in a long time. The scratchy throat was coming. I was like, oh, crap, I'm getting sick. Great. And then Blake Burke brought those 2 runs in to tie the game. And I was like, oh, baby, we back. And then Dylan Dryden just brings it home. Oh, it was so wonderful. It was so wonderful. A magical Friday night, one of my favorite games because I think I said it. I was like, I really think Florida State coming out might have been the best overall team. And somehow, some way.
I mean, you dropped 24 in a game. You're hot.
I mean, yeah.
Hot.
24. Say what you will about UConn and their team, but I be honest with you, I don't know how good UConn baseball is in terms of the field, but they got 24 dropped on them.
That's not good. Not at
not
this,
good.
not
It's
at
not
the
a good look.
stage of
Not a good
the
look.
season.
No.
Yeah. And you're talking about, wasn't it against the Big East Player of the Year? I think that's who.
I think so.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Big East Pitcher of the Year. Smoke that boy.
Yes, he
They're
did.
still good. But I mean, 11 runs on the Vols.
I mean, the one thing I have concern about the Vols moving forward is what we saw from. Now, they looked great against
Carolina.
those North Carolina Tar Heels, right?
Yeah.
But they used 3 less pitchers against them than they get against Florida State. They had to go through 5 pitchers to even get to what 20, I think it was like a total like 24 hits total, but like that's how good your offense had to beat that team because your defense was not doing it. So that does make me nervous going into, because if Florida State, they have the team that can come in from that losers bracket on their side and play them on Wednesday, but they got to win 2 games.
They do.
And
you have to pitch well that first game.
You have to.
Because the way they do it, the reason, it's just been a process. They'll start out with Stamos, and he goes 1-3 every time. And they bring in AJ right after that. So that's been this process. It's worked. But what happened with Florida State was they had 2 on, bringing in a lefty, and Stamos is good as well as he was pitching pretty much. It's a process where it's like, yeah, he's really bad against lefties. Lefties rake him, especially that top of the line kind of lefty. I guess that guy rakes lefties. I forget his name for Florida State. But he's a monster. And so it's just like, man, I don't know if
circumstantial. A little bit.
It's just a bad circumstance. And so you're like, man, I have to pull Stamos early. And then it feels like it kind of bumps you back 2 innings, and they just got out of rhythm, and you couldn't bring it back.
And maybe that's just good coaching on Tony's part, you know? Maybe that's just awesome coaching, and he just knows his team that well.
That's exactly what it is.
So I love it. And I think Tennessee, they've never had a better offensive team than they've had right now, at least since I've moved out here in the last 4 years and when I started paying attention to the Vols. But I do love that I'm getting into baseball when I moved out here after my whole life not caring about it. And the Vols are just trending upwards.
Yeah.
And I just love that.
It's fun. It's fun to watch.
That game made me look up Tony Vitello, because I didn't really start paying attention to college baseball until probably about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize like he'd been in Tennessee for this is his 6th year now.
Yeah, he's been there for a while,
his first year or something like that. And then they've just been dominant, man.
And you looked up his picture?
Yeah.
How did you feel about your jawline after looking at that?
What a different human being.
Dude, I mean, you can't look like that and then be that good at coaching
That's
baseball.
what I'm saying, man. It's not fair.
For some reason, my wife watches.
Well, dude, he's
mine too, man. She's like, he is hot. And I was like, okay, but take away the title and like the facial hair and his general vibe and like all of his money.
So take away,
and just if he was just a pair of shoes, would you still like him? Yeah, probably. It's like some damn good looking shoes they got on that team right there.
and they say it every time too. That's the worst part. It's like he's gorgeous. I'm like, I get it. For the last 57 games, you've said it. I get it.
I know, and you know, I at least. It's good for the girl crowds. I mean, it's for all crowds. It's not just the girl crowds. It's for all crowds.
Has Tony V brought the largest female audience to, I'll say pound for pound, has he brought the largest female audience to a sport ever?
Ever? I wouldn't say ever.
I mean, Caitlin Clark's doing a really good job right now.
That's true.
So if you're just
coaching-wise,
okay,
maybe.
As a coach? Who, right now, in any sport, across the country, who is like, if you had to put head to head, like these are the 2 coaches that like are fighting for like dreamy coach for all the girls out there.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't know hockey or soccer coaches.
No.
European soccer coaches are but that's different.
They're
they're as tall. Yeah, they're like as tall as can.
Yeah.
You know?
But are we thinking like, is it like a Cliff Kingsbury kind of?
Thank you. I could see his face.
Yeah,
I could see his face. The name was just gone. I was like, I know who to say.
It's Cliff.
Yeah, that was my answer.
And listen, we're married men. Joseph, he is a single man looking for love out there, and you know, so we could say this. We could say this with confidence that just objectively very good looking men.
Oh, very good looking men.
For a fact.
I mean, Cliff is dreamy.
Yeah. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. And you can. You can draw up an audible. I mean, he's got the full package. If I was a woman out there, listen, that's what you want. You got a head coach, sports, decent tan, making money.
Yeah.
You can draw up an audible.
Yep.
Speaking of, do you guys remember his picture in the draft day?
Yes. That's
No.
exactly
right. I'm going to show you this real quick.
So you're talking about like he's in his house and it's like
you got it?
white modern and he's in front of the fireplace and is he wearing like all white? Or is he? I can't remember what he's wearing.
I don't remember what he's wearing, but I remember like it's the perfect, awesome California or Arizona modern house.
Yeah, because he was still the head coach of the Cardinals at that
He
time.
was still at the Cardinals. I just, it's one of those.
Yeah.
It's the dreamboat scenario.
I can't compete.
Yeah.
Oh, Joseph, son. We could never compete.
No.
I don't stand a chance.
No. But I got a heart of gold, and I'm going to live on it.
You get to keep that.
That's right.
That's right, baby. That's chatted up right there. Heart's gold and average men.
I'd say we're slightly above average.
We're slightly above average. I give us a 7 to 8, but we're not hitting the 9s to 10s.
No. Like a 9 or 10. Man, those are tough to come across.
No, I don't even think 10s really exist on either side of the spectrum. So
it's got to exist.
I mean, the problem is my wife skipped it to 11. So I mean, like,
okay,
bingo.
There's the answer.
Bingo.
That's a man who has lasted a year in marriage, right there.
That is a married man's
One
right there.
whole year, baby.
That's right, baby. They got it's the paper anniversary, by the way. If it's your first year of marriage, it's the paper anniversary.
Why do they call it that? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is that the day that your marriage
it's like,
signed or whatever?
It's like, but you're supposed to bring something. Like your first gift is supposed to be paper themed, so it could be like a book, or it could be like a note, or it could be like tickets to. It needs to be paper themed, and so
that's because everybody was cheap after their first year.
That's what I was thinking. Like, because by the time you get to like 50, I mean, it's like you're taking, you're going to take the whole family to Hawaii kind of thing. Like that's that wedding anniversary.
So it scales.
Yeah, it scales up. Yeah, you need to save for these future anniversaries.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got my. Did you get a nice Father's Day gift?
What did I get? I got a little blanket from Philomena, which is she's still in the womb, so I got her little blanket that said like, "Daddy, I'm still in the womb, but can't wait to see you soon," kind of thing.
Sweet.
And then got a margarita at Cheddar's.
Heck yeah!
And I tell you what, my wife did. She did do a lot of cleaning around the house, and like so it was like I'm here taking a nap, watching sports, and she's literally running around cleaning everything around.
Acts of service.
So I can't thank her enough for that.
Yep. I love my wife. She left me with to go visit her family for the week
in Disney World.
In Disney, they're having a blast. Just a couple rosy cheek nieces, just
damn cute.
Starstruck boys.
Damn
we met
cute.
the princesses last night.
Oh, who'd they meet? Who were the princesses?
Belle.
Okay.
And Cinderella.
Oh,
That's the videos that I know. I think they met somebody else.
They met the Beast. At the breakfast dinner, the dinner.
Yeah, the dinner, I guess.
It's Belle's Castle. I've been there. It's a 4-course meal. Or 3. So you have some pretty good options like escargot and there's actually something called the gray stuff, and because of the song, try the gray stuff. It's delicious. It's like in the song from
Throwback.
I mean, dude, I guess I'm a Disney adult at this point.
You're a Disney fiend, man.
Yeah, my wife is a Disney adult, so like
so go on. I'm interested about this dinner. I don't know anything about it.
So you start off with like that, and then you go on to like, all right, are you having a filet mignon, or are you having like roasted duck? Like it's really nice meal. Like it's almost like $70 a person.
Yeah,
and you don't get to pick. So you get to go in there. You can sit in the Beast corners, which is going to be like super rainy and dark and like everything's torn up. It's like before he met Belle. You can sit there, or you can sit in like the pretty, Belle area where like they danced and like they had all this like nice stuff. And
that's what they chose.
So yeah, definitely. But dude, those girls look so cute, man. They are all dressed up and everything.
You talk about, straight up starstruck. The eyes,
the
wondering eyes, like just watching everything she does. They get the hug. I think Hattie cried. It was great. So she had a wonderful week, but she left me with a full body massage for tomorrow.
Oh
yeah, I was like, what a great gift. Boy's been working hard, and
you spent some time on the boat this weekend.
Yes, the boat adventure this weekend. Love a good last minute call. Thank you, Joe Davis. Went out there, tried to fish. It's so packed. It is so packed.
Summer's here. Summer
is straight up here, and everybody and their mother was out, which is awesome. I get it, boat guys. Wish I kind of was one, kind of not. But good to have friends that have boats. Went out there, and I had the Topo Chico NAs, had like 17 of those things, just trying to stay hydrated, and I was still pissing Red Bull, it looked like, we could not stay cool. And we had this, we got the little top and everything. It looks great. But dude, it's miserable down here. And I know weather content, sick. But
That's why it's played in Omaha. That's why the games are played in Omaha.
yeah, it's hot as shit out there too.
Is it really? Yeah, you went last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was miserable, dude. And me and G had great seats. We pushed the envelope for the Tennessee game.
Yep.
It was a Texas game. We went like 4 or 5 rows behind the dugout. Bad decision. Bad decision. If you ever go out there, get the second tier. I mean, I know it's cool to be close to the plate and all that stuff. No, there's no shade. There's no shade, and it's not worth it.
Oh, you're just baking.
It's an oven down there, and it's so much hotter because it's pretty much turf down on that.
Turf is hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that's what someone was saying about the corporate challenge in Birmingham. She's like, it's a little hotter down there because it's all turf.
Yeah. At least we had the pavilion. Shout out First Horizon.
Thank you. Gosh, man.
The perfect setup.
Yeah.
That whole event.
Oh, yeah.
It really was. It's going to be bigger than ever next year. But anyways, yeah, Bo guy, awesome. And then yesterday for Father's Day, we did a low country bowl.
Oh.
You do low country bowls?
Oh, yeah. What are you talking about?
So I think they had like 36 pounds of crab legs and like 28, 30 pounds of shrimp. And listen, I love all these foods, but it's the worst food to eat on a hot day.
Oh, dude.
Oh, it don't taste good. No.
Was it spicy? Super?
Good spice. We got an older crowd in our family, so we got to keep the spice down a little bit.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. That's at least
sensitive tongues. So we tampered the spice down a little bit, had the full-fledged thing, got Ma out there. Good day. Just a good day overall, but it feels weird. I was like, people were wishing me Happy Father's Day.
Mm-hmm. It's the first time.
Yeah. Did it feel a little different?
It did feel a little different, first Father's Day. I don't know. I definitely cried that day. I was driving on doing some errands with my wife, and I definitely cried that day because it's just like, it was the first day that I was like, wow, like my life is about to change. Like it literally was. Mm-hmm. And I can't be more grateful. I just can't. And I love the heck out of our daughter and who she is and whatever she will be. And I can't wait to meet her in just a few short months. And you know, I guess I really have never felt that kind of like, it's a different feeling. I don't know. I just love the different phases of life and growth that you get to experience. And like, that's just a new separate type of love that, you know, we have in our capability. And I think that's cool to experience and find out more about.
Mm-hmm. Especially this weekend. I don't know if you listened to any Luke Combs album.
Yeah, Fathers and Sons, baby. It's a great album.
It's all about fathers. Boy, there were some tears coming down this week, boys.
I saw several videos of people were like, yeah, Luke, I wasn't expecting to get wrecked on a Sunday. And I was like, you know, I want to listen to this, but I'm like, I just don't think I wouldn't get it.
It wouldn't get it.
I wouldn't get it.
I didn't start crying to I Saw God Today by George Strait until last week. And I've listened to that song for over a decade.
Yeah. Songs change. Drive was one I listened to the other day.
Alan Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daddy let me drive. Yeah.
I don't know if you've got a pretty good relationship with your pops. It sounds like some of those songs would hit home that way.
Now that song hits home for me that way. Like,
that's how a lot of Luke's, that's how a lot of Luke's would have been.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it a listen.
You will want to have a good cry on the way to Georgia.
Good cry on the way home.
Tired of crying, man. Tired of crying.
Yeah. Father's Day is a little different nowadays, but it's to get a little sentimental. It was very, very strange. I had this thought yesterday. So it'll be 10 years since my dad passed away, and this will be my first one having a daughter. So it's very different. And I was like, wow, God's timing is pretty crazy. God's timing is pretty crazy. 10 years, and then all of a sudden you get a daughter. Different. Very different. So I was just taking that into like account yesterday on the way back. And I was like, dang, dude. It's one of those, you're going to get opportunities as a grandparent or a father in your lives, and you're like, you got to take advantage of it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be it was a very good day because I'm not one like the sympathy, the death part had a lot of that go on in my life. So it's fine.
You're used to that by now.
Yeah. Though. It's not like a pity thing. It's just a really cool introspect nowadays. When you get older, you kind of take into account those little small things. You're like, oh, I didn't get it when I was younger. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But Dad's good day for us boys.
I know. It was a great day. It was the first of I hope 100 days, man, of those days.
Oh yeah.
I hope it's the first of 100.
We ain't dying, boys.
Oh yeah, we got the right med technology on the way. Gonna keep me alive forever. They're gonna have to shoot me to keep me away from that medicine. It's like, this is chatted up 2,305.
We might reach chatted up 3,000.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, dang, dude, like, are we older than the United States of America right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's chatted up. USA no longer is a country. Something really bad went happen. Something really wrong went happen.
Stopped aging. I was like, you know what? The country's
not even the country anymore. It's 2040. And something really crazy happened then.
Yeah, we're like all merged in one. We're Pangea again.
Fallout, man.
Oh yeah,
Fallout. Did you watch the show?
Oh yeah, I played the games, watched the show.
I haven't watched the show. I played a little bit of the game, but I have not watched the show yet.
Oh, the show's phenomenal.
Really?
Oh, it's fantastic.
If you had to, like, I'm sorry, I'm going off a tangent here.
No, go for it.
If you had to think about, like, let's say the country split up for whatever reason, top to bottom. Top half, they recruit Canada. All right, you're a part of the country now. Bottom half, we're going for Mexico.
Oh, dang.
Like,
Dicey.
between those two areas, like, who wins?
We clear.
What do
Look
you
at Canada.
Like, think about it. Like, the topography is crazier up there, but like the Mexican culture, man, like they're coming.
Dog, we got the cartel.
Dude,
Yeah,
we clear.
We're whipping the North this time.
Yeah, we're the South.
They don't even eat real bacon.
We can't talk about this anymore. We can't say like the South is being the North.
No, we can't.
Let's go ahead and cut this off.
No,
Real bad tangent.
Yeah, let's.
No, but I'm just saying,
cut this off. Okay, I'm I'm thinking more not off of any issues. I'm just thinking in general, like if like, you know, Canada in the top half of America versus Mexico, because this is a sports show, right? We're talking a game of tug of war here. We're not talking about anything.
They had
flag football.
Yeah.
Dodgeball right now. We're doing dodgeball.
We clear.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if you're talking about anything sports related, we got Texas and Georgia. We clear.
And Florida.
And Florida. We clear.
I don't know. The only thing I think they could beat us at is basketball.
No. Because the only reason those kids go, but like most of those kids come from south of the Mason-Dixon. I mean, Florida's just littered with athletes, man.
True.
The Atlanta area for basketball is incredible.
Dallas, Texas has a very strong basketball population. Yeah. And honestly, let's be honest here. Most of California's talent in athletics is usually the bottom half.
It's true.
Southern California.
Most of it's the bottom half. And you got like the Oaklands, you know, that area. They got some raw talent out there. But all the development's down south.
Yeah, but if the New York City Ballers can play with those honkies from Indiana, we're gonna have a tough time.
No, see that we're
gonna have a real tough
where
time.
the North would come in. This is where the North would come in. You got that Silicon Valley up there, man, and they're creating robots. They got robots.
True.
They got AI.
True.
I mean, they're gonna take a different, you know, strategy. We're all talking about brute force and strength down here in the South. It's like, hey, listen, you know, we got New York.
I mean,
we got Boston. We got Silicon Valley. I mean, we're gonna come at you with education.
they clear in hockey. For a fact.
Yeah,
we get smoked in hockey.
Lacrosse, hockey.
Yeah, hockey's not even. I mean, like, what somebody, I think it was on ESPN. They were talking about the Oilers. They wanted the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup because they're the last team from Canada in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so like most of these players are Canadian, anyways.
Yeah,
that
are winning titles for American teams. I was like, hey, I get it.
True.
Yeah, Canada by themselves probably just clears in hockey. Like,
yeah, Canada could beat the entire North and South America best players
in hockey.
Yeah.
Do you know the second greatest score, the best American scorer in NHL history? The Canadian is Gretzky, but he's not born in America.
Okay.
Mike Modano.
Mike Modano
of the Dallas Stars.
I don't know if I've ever heard that name in my life.
I have his autographed puck, and it's been on this table during one of our shows, Joseph. So keep your eyes open, son.
Dude, I'm trying to get into hockey.
Peeled.
I've been trying to get into hockey.
Can't do it.
It's
I can't
hard,
do
man.
it.
Like I want because I'm trying to get into basketball because Georgia's slowly starting to get better at basketball because they actually care about basketball. So I'm trying to get into basketball, but I'm like, I need something between March Madness and like Omaha because the latter half of college baseball season's good, but it's baseball, man. They play a lot of games.
Yep.
It's hard to follow that many games. Like
it's hard to be up on a Tuesday night till 11 p.m. watching Georgia's 19th best pitcher.
Yeah, versus
Lindsey
Creighton
Wilson.
or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Shout out to Creighton. I didn't realize Creighton is where Creighton's stadium was Omaha. I didn't realize that was.
Oh yeah, dude.
I did not know that was the thing until Sunday night.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to go to college, to
Dude,
be honest.
yeah.
No.
Beautiful campus.
Oh yeah.
That place is sick.
I mean, they recruit very well in basketball. I mean, it's got to be worth moving to. So
Yeah. They've always got some big giant white dude that's pretty skilled. Always.
But I got to thinking about it. Like, could you imagine if they made? Has Creighton ever made the men's college World Series? Do they have a baseball team?
I don't know if they have.
I mean, what a home field advantage, right?
Yeah, they do have a baseball
I mean,
team.
yeah.
That's your place.
I mean, Nebraska, the University of Nebraska at Lincoln is what I would say most that state pulls for.
That's fair.
I would say that, right?
1991. First and only
That's been
time.
a long
First and only time. Yeah. I mean,
Did they win it or did they just made it?
They made it.
Okay.
and they like have arguably like the furthest home run like to hit like of any place. Like most of these, these hits that we see that are, outfield caught. I mean, they're home runs in any other stadium.
Yeah, there was one game I was listening to. Maybe it the Tennessee Florida State game. There was a couple of them. They said that they would have been out in something like 78% of the stadium, something like some number. I'm making it up, but there was like a very, very high percentage that they would have definitely made
A home run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In most other stadiums. Yeah.
So,
It's a monster. It's beautiful, but it's a monster.
Yeah.
And it's humid as all get out. Like it's a weird place to hit. It's a very weird place to hit. But man, what a sporting event that's turned around to be.
I know.
Live sports doing this right here.
Yeah,
Oh,
nothing but straight up. And honestly, I think we're gonna see. So speaking of live sports, on the way up, big thing that's coming out. A lot of the NCAA is looking at is adding corporate logos to college jerseys, and also, like for example, the Big 12 is looking at adding Allstate to their the Allstate 12. Like literally, that's going to be their thing. So, talk me, what's y'all's thoughts on adding corporate logos to college teams like we see in the NFL and the NBA, et cetera?
This is how the Big 12 gets Florida State and Clemson. This is how.
Okay.
This is how, because both teams want to leave the ACC. The SEC and the Big 10 obviously are, in my opinion, overinflated. You got way too many good teams. This is how the Big 12 stays relevant. They pull two powerhouses. They get Clemson and Florida State. This is how they pay for it. They sell their name to Allstate.
Yeah, I mean they're getting 50 to 60 million a year is what their offer is.
I mean, how do I feel about it? I don't like it because I guess it also depends on how they, what's the word I'm looking for? Portray it. Like if it's like the Allstate 12 is the name of the conference, but if it's the Big 12 presented by Allstate, I could get used to that.
Yeah.
But if Allstate's like, oh, hey, yeah, no, you're the Allstate 12, I would hate that personally because it would just feel way too corporatized for me.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
Yeah, the Charles Schwab Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's
I would
not-
just
it's not gonna be cool.
I don't want to watch the Outback Bowl, which has a bid from the Charles Schwab conference and the McDonald's conference. I'm not interested in that.
I'm with you, man. I mean, but like if it has to be done, I mean, it is that Wild West out there in college football right now. So it's the Wild West, and so but if it has to be done, my whole thing is like, make it a name. Work with a company that makes sense. Like go to Southwest Airlines and become the Southwest Conference, and you can have both. Like don't go to Allstate and now sound silly. Or go to anywhere else. You can go to. It would just be interesting to see if if the schools could be a little more thoughtful on the corporations they reach out to for this partnership.
Yeah.
Well, this is all a preemptive strike. And what that is they're going to start paying players from the school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so this is a way to recruit that money.
Yep.
You're going to be able to basically invest and get your Florida States and Clemson, but this is also another way to ratchet that up. We get all those teams. We get this big pot of money because we know we're going to have to pay these players. And only these players, that's going to come from the pot that you're paying your administration,
Mm-hmm.
which is already a big divide. I've seen it from big school, little school, wherever you want to come from. Admission side, athletic side. Athletics usually gets more money.
Yeah.
Because it brings in the money.
Yep.
But there's also a lot of money being made in some admissions. So maybe I'm wrong, but I have a decent educated guess on how this works at a place like Dartmouth.
Okay.
Okay. Dartmouth Business School. Cream o' crop, baby. Dartmouth basketball. Really bad. The only reason they were ever in the news is they tried to unionize, and I think they were like 2-37.
Yeah.
They were terrible.
Yeah.
They were
Not a good
terrible.
look.
No. And I'm sure you had good teams in football and basketball and all that stuff. Hockey, who knows? Sorry, college hockey. But it's all preemptive strike because those teams are going to have to pay, and I don't know how that's going to get split up. I don't know who's going to be given out. You're looking at Title IX. It is a debacle about to happen. So what can we do to counteract that? Get all the insurance money.
Insurance money.
That insurance money's big, boys.
Yeah.
We want
That insurance, that's why they're recruiting that. Like, it would make, like you said, it would make so much sense to go Southwest.
Yeah.
But Southwest can't even take care of their own planes most of the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
They don't offer first class.
No.
You know, they don't offer first class. So this is just a massive, massive preemptive strike, in my opinion. And it's the highest bidder because they want Florida State.
Yeah,
they want Clemson.
Yep. That's how the Big 12 stays relevant. They need a power player. And Florida State's on the up. I mean,
They are. Their
Clemson has
athletic
been
program
there.
is better.
Like,
Yeah. And I think with live sports, and you mentioned it, like you need something in between these times. Like you mentioned March Madness, the College World Series. Like those two events, like that's what college basketball is like. We lean in.
Mhm.
You're going to obviously get big games like Carolina and Duke and whoever. They're all going to make good money. And now I even say Tennessee, like they make good money week in, week out. But a lot of your other schools probably don't. Like, I mean, there's no offense. Like there's no Georgia game on primetime television.
as there shouldn't be.
Yeah,
For
there shouldn't
basketball? No.
For
there's-
basketball.
No, not
So,
for
but
basketball. They shouldn't.
If they made it to the tournament, oh, that's a good chunk of change.
Oh, man.
That's a good chunk of change. So now these teams are these programs and conferences are like, oh man, we can lean into
Mhm.
playoff time so hard. I bet the College World Series, I don't know, but in my mind, it feels like they've, for marketing and advertising, have made 10x what they make in the regular season, maybe more.
Probably. I would say I don't think college baseball is profitable. Most programs, I think it's fair to say, aren't profitable. There might be a select few that
I think it's
are.
close right now.
Well, you know what's funny? I looked at like the University of Tennessee Knoxville's new golf clubhouse and like all it's like on 30 acres of land and all their stuff like that. And it's like there's no way golf's bringing in
all
enough
donor.
money. It's all
donor.
donor stuff.
Yeah.
They just want to see the name in there, and
Yeah.
so I think you're right. Like not all teams
Well,
turn profits.
football and basketball cover most, but which is one of the problems with this whole revenue sharing model is once it becomes like a business structure, sports are going to get cut. It sucks, but it's going to happen. So
I mean, you're right. I don't see how Rutgers baseball team has to fly down to USC twice a year.
yeah, it's going to be more than twice probably.
Or like you got volleyball and you got like these smaller schools like golf or smaller programs that are like a North. I'm just thinking about like Rutgers in general.
Yeah.
It's just like they're not going to be able to make that work. Like I feel bad for the teams that have like more than just football
Yeah.
games. You know, there's
Like-
just tons of games.
Like Indiana volleyball going to Oregon.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be tough, man.
It usually takes one day to get back your like circadian rhythm. Like you have to, for every jet lag day, like it takes every hour you go back, it takes 1 day to get the jet lag.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going at 2 hours back, it's going to take you maybe like a day or two to actually get that jet lag back.
Yeah, each time that's going to be a big jump. It's going to happen a lot. Now they're going to figure out scheduling. They're going to have there's some whiz kid out there. It's like, I got you, or Chat GPT.
Yeah, let's say.
Let's be
There's some AI
honest.
out
Yeah.
there that's like, hey, you're going to fly and you're going
Make
to play at USC, then you're going to fly up, and you're going to play Oregon, then you're going to fly back.
And make this the most efficient way possible.
I just want to know like how they're going to do it because like Nebraska volleyball, I bet they made their money back in that giant arena game.
Yeah.
So like who's going to step up? Like I think that's a big one. I can't even imagine the money that Clark made for Iowa, even in their first game in the stadium too. Like them playing in these arenas and these football stadiums, like you're going to have to up the ante on how can we make this a spectacle?
Yeah.
And that's going to have to fund your program because football is going to make your program.
Football's
Even if
really
you're Rutgers, you're a part of the TV deal. Well, it could probably. I think all that money could keep every program afloat.
But it's
Close.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Vanderbilt's horrible in football, but they're writing the revenue deal. Like, so they.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all saw the tier system for the EA college football. 25.
Oh yeah, depending on the brand.
Yeah, depending on the brand, how much they're going to get. Like, so like if you're Georgia, I think you got 90 million.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I think
it was. Hang on, I'll look it up.
It was something like that. But basically, like, then you have these other secondary and tertiary and quaternary resources to funding this program more than just media. It used to be just media, but now you got all these like other avenues that are going to funnel in these programs. And that's why I think schools like Texas, like, how does Texas come back? They buy. They're officially the New York Yankees of college sports, in my opinion.
So there were 4 tiers for EA Sports College Football 25. Interesting. I would not.
There's some Eastern, like Oklahoma State's in there.
Oklahoma State's tier 1. So is Utah, which don't disrespect.
They've had great.
Utah is incredible. Kyle Whittingham has done a phenomenal job at that
It's
program.
an aggregation of the last 10 years' performance is how they base these tiers. And so Oklahoma State technically and Utah had great last decade.
No, they have. So has Iowa. But the tier 1's got 100,000. It's like 99 and some change, but 100,000. Tier 2 was 60. Tier 3 was 40.
100,000?
$100,000. It's a video game. I mean, they don't have 90. A video game company doesn't have 90 million to shell.
What did I read?
To shell out.
I'm tripping, man. I thought I read something else. I thought I saw something else for that.
No,
so I'm
they
sorry.
got
100,000.
100K, and it looks like there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13 programs that got 100,000.
Okay.
We have Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, which, dude, to be honest with you, Notre Dame's they utilize their brand so well. Even if they had not been that good over the past 10 years, they still might have been in tier 1.
And they probably deserve it. They probably deserve it because there's a lot of people up north that would want that.
Yeah. Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Georgia, LSU, Michigan, Oregon, Oklahoma State, Penn State, Utah, and Iowa were the tier 1 teams.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I said 100 million. I'm sorry, guys.
It sounded a little wrong.
It sounded right. I was like, wait a minute. That was something crazy. But
we've been talking big numbers because of like the revenue sharing models. Yeah, they're probably getting 60. Some schools are probably getting 60.
I'm thinking media deals here.
Yeah,
I'm in media. I'm like, Ohio State's getting 100 million, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but no, yeah. So, but you could just see my whole point outside the numbers was just like you have other models that are coming in that can help pay for other things, and so I mean, it just takes a Livy Doon at your LSU gymnast,
exactly,
situation, and then all of a sudden, all these sponsorship comes in and funnels that.
Yeah, and I even think like some of these programs, like finding out a little bit about cheerleading. Like there's so many big programs that would sponsor whatever because it's a recruiting tool for them. So there's money to be made, especially when these corporate sponsorships come into play even more so. Because, man, I mean, I've seen it from. I have a friend that's a part of a company that's one of, I think they're second or third in UNC's football and basketball donorship. Okay. And it's a company, corporate sponsorship. Them boys get some real good perks. So no reason your boy ever wound up on that floor. So it's pretty crazy the amount of money because I just can't even fathom what it's going to get up to. And this is just this year because, whew, buddy, if these like baseball teams ever get on Apple and then it's easy access and like, let's be honest, I think American sports could hop into any country and make it work. Like what Tony V and the Vols have done for college baseball could happen in pretty much any sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Because you have the ability to pay somebody. And
yeah,
I just think that changes everything. That's why I'm like, I get a little nervous because like these other programs, again, there's not going to be a tier system that gets these, middle of the road, mid-level colleges into the playoffs. I mean, you lose unless you get into, again, the Big 12, Big 10, SEC. You're not competing for a national title. It's a different tier. I feel like they'll have like a secondary national title or I hope a relegation system.
Should have a group of 5 title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that
It'll
would
come.
be incredible. I've wanted that for a while. Like, you don't have to change the scheduling. You can still have Georgia Southern wants to schedule Georgia and play them and get a fat check. Yeah, go for it. But Georgia Southern shouldn't be competing for the same title that Ohio State and Bama and Georgia are. Like, they should be competing for a lower conference title.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
And they should have their own. I think they should have their own playoff. Because, I mean, they talked about how advantageous it would be with the 12-team model to miss your conference title game. Because, like, imagine you're Michigan and you play Ohio State the last game of the year, and you got to turn around and play Ohio State 7 days. Then you might have to play them in 3 weeks again. So, I mean, imagine you're like Oklahoma, and you're having I don't think they're going to be this year, but let's just for example's sake, say they're like the third, fourth best team in the SEC, and they miss the conference title game, but they're that 5th seed.
Yeah.
And they open against the 12 seed that's Tulane.
They're going to crush.
They're going to crush them. More often than not, they're going to crush them. You'll have years where USC lost to Tulane.
Yeah, there's Boise States out there every once in a while.
Upsets will happen. I'm not saying that's not the case. You'll have upsets. Some 12 seed's going to beat a 5 seed in the first round, but then they're just served up on a silver platter to Ohio State.
Like TCU playing Georgia is like the first thing. I know it's a Big 12, but I mean, they were just boys against men in that game.
Yep.
The fact that Michigan lost to them that was truly an upset.
Yeah, it was one of those. It felt very March Madness to me watching that game.
Yeah,
I was like, this is a
12 seed.
12 seed winning a first round and then playing Duke and getting annihilated.
That's a big thing. Is like, I think sometimes we cheer for that, and it's awesome. Like on that day, but it's the 2 games down the road, and you're like, they just got slobber knockered.
Yeah,
because you're like, man, I get it. Any given Saturday or Sunday, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
It's cool and it's fun. You're like, holy crap. You're sharing it all over social. Like, dude, this team just upset Bama. Tulane upset Oklahoma.
Yep.
And then Tulane's going to step into Georgia and get waxed.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're not to belittle those programs, because I think we need those programs, but they're not built to play Oklahoma and then Ohio State and then Alabama. Like, they're not built to do that back to back to back, because they just don't have the funding.
No,
it's not their fault.
No.
So, like, the big selling point for a lot of people when they were like the 12-team playoffs here is, well, now Cinderellas have a chance. It's like, Cincinnati made the playoff. They did that.
Yeah.
Now you've made it harder for them. Now, all you've done is make it harder for them to compete for the same trophy. Because now, instead of Cincinnati that year would have had to pull off beating Bama, that was a long shot. It was a long shot.
Yeah.
Was it possible?
Sure.
Yeah. It wasn't 0. Then all they would have had to do is get up for one more game. National title. Now you got to beat
possibly
4.
Yeah, other contending conferences that are massive. I mean, now Cincinnati, they are technically in the Big 12, but I mean, that was Big 12 added a lot of schools from the mid-majors to stay.
Yeah, well, they were Cincinnati at the time was
fickle,
not MAC, but no, not their conference. They weren't in the Big 12 when they made the playoff.
They were
not
Conference
MAC,
USA.
Conference USA.
No, they were. Were they?
It had a big conference.
No, they were something
Memphis.
else. They were. God, the name is
ACC.
No,
not ACC. AAC.
The American.
AAC.
They were American. Thank you.
Yeah, American Athletic.
They were the American Conference, but they made the playoff because they went like 13-1.
Yeah,
and then 13-0 or 12-0, or 13-0 because they won their. So they deserve to be in there 100%. But now you've effectively just like written that. What you've done is you've taken, like, when USC lost to Tulane, that was a big moment. That was huge. You won a New Year's Six bowl game. I don't remember the name of that bowl game. I think it was the Sugar Bowl. I think it was the Sugar Bowl. You won the Sugar Bowl. That's a huge accomplishment.
Awesome.
Now all you've done is slap the word playoff on that and send them to play Bama.
That's it.
So it's like you still accomplished the same thing. Now you just get to go get your ass kicked.
Yeah, because in my mind, and maybe we get totally disproven on all this.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I just feel like it's so much harder to do in football what you think is going to happen that happens in March Madness in basketball.
It is.
You know, like sometimes 3-point shots just go in. Sometimes you're just missing. Sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way. But sometimes in football, you can just be bigger and stronger and run it down your throat and make some big impact play at a different level where basketball, I just think momentum's different. And I just think shots just go in.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have that certain magic in football.
Mm-mm.
Well, you can also have what happened to Kentucky and Oakland. One guy gets hot and he just,
Yeah.
it's one dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's 5 people on the court, but like,
let's be honest, it was all Jack Golke.
yeah, he got hot.
You can be
And
one
he-
basketball player on a team and force your team to a win. You
Yeah.
can be that. I mean, LeBron James did it
LeBron's carried his team to the finals.
almost every game, every time.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Like football in general, I mean, it's like the best team does win because you are bigger, you are stronger, you're faster, your equipment's better. The teams that have the upsets usually happen for 2 reasons: lack of preparation on the better team's part, like they just overlook it,
Yep.
and they simply just have a strategy and just enough juice and magic to make it happen. Like the wind just happens to be blowing that one weird way on that final kick. That you know, so that's where I think that football's a little different.
It
Well,
is.
look at
And I understand quarterbacks too.
Yeah.
I know it makes a difference,
Yeah.
but still, like,
look at Caleb Williams. I mean, he essentially for USC the past 2 years. What was it? Jack Golke, you said his
Yeah.
name was. He for USC for the last 2 years, he was what Jack Golke was for Oakland in that one game, and look where it got him.
Yeah.
I mean, Caleb Williams was phenomenal. He was fighting for his life every game.
every day.
I mean, he put up. Washington lost in the national title. They put up what, like 40
Mm-hmm.
in the 40s.
Yeah.
If Caleb just has any kind of help, I mean, come on.
It changes everything.
Yeah, but that's the point is, it's you can't carry football the same way you can carry basketball as one guy. Like you just different sport.
Very different sport. All right, I told you I got a question for you.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
So-
playing them.
We'll finish off with this. Dad dreaming. I got to a stage in my life where my algorithm has chosen to feed me out like adult toys.
Okay.
And there was something that came across my feed last night. It's an Australian company, and they have like unbelievable overlander pull behind trailers.
Okay.
And I've never camped in a trailer in my life. I mean, I've only tent camped. And I've never pulled a trailer for very long duration, unless it's across an apple orchard. That's it. But in my mind, I was like, I would pay $175,000 for this if I had it right now. I don't know where I'd take it. So I was going to ask you boys, what has been in your adult life been like your toy that you're like, I'd probably never use that, but I would pay X amount of dollars for that?
Dude.
I mean, are you gonna roast me if I say that?
No,
I think about an overlanding rig a lot.
I could kind of see it with
Like,
your truck, with
dude,
your
yeah,
Jeep, yeah.
like, I want the whole iCamper that folds out, the stacked shelving in the back. Like, if I could buy, and obviously driving a Jeep, kind of, if I could buy the Jeep I wanted and overland it out, oh, dude, immediately, 100%. I'd drive it up to the Yukon and
I don't blame you.
like,
Yeah, that's one I was like, because not only does it come with, like when you're thinking about this toy that you would buy, and this could be a car, whatever, but I was like, I would go hit up every national park, which I wouldn't. But
Yeah.
in my spirit scrolling last night, I was like, yeah, I would need this suspension system because that's what I do is I overland now in my mind. I don't overland.
No,
I
you're
will
not an
never overland.
You have a Nissan Altima, I believe.
That's an Infinity. Thank you.
No.
Thank you. It's a luxury car. And I can tell you that because I pay for premium gas.
Yeah, that's right. You did good, buddy.
That's right.
I'm proud of
bud.
you.
It's paid off. Shout out.
that's hard to beat, man. It's hard to beat a paid off car, though.
I know.
mean,
That's what we
let's
talk
be
about.
honest
Hannah's
here.
like, well, you need a new car. And I was like, sure don't.
Don't
No.
have a car payment.
I'll drive my paid off car until, I can afford an overlanding rig, I guess. I don't know.
Dude. What's been an adult thing, like a boat or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, everyone wants. I mean, I was telling this to Bliss the other day, and I was like, I feel like if for a man in the South, at least if you were born between 1960 and 1990, and it could be for like past that, but you've made it in life if you can own your home, a boat, and an RV. If you have those three, like you have the infinity zones to a Southern man's retirement.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I'm always like, if I can get enough money to like sail away, drive away.
Yeah.
How can I get away in various forms?
Maybe, and it's like, and I really made it. If I can fly away, then I feel like that would be it. But
no.
That's where I don't know. I just feel like those are like the things that I think about. And like, if I had to spend a crazy amount of money on something, it'd be like an RV like that, and I would drive off. And I always say all the time, I was like, let's just sell it all.
Yeah,
just get Wi-Fi in the RV, and we'll just go.
Since you brought up the overlanding, the trailer, I'll rescind I'll come up with an actual answer and do the plane, like not a jet. I mean, like a little
small plane.
Yeah, small plane. Get a pilot's license.
Yeah,
and just fly wherever I wanted to go.
Yeah, Collegedale, Tennessee. You
totally unrealistic.
Tons of planes over there.
You could just go fly around.
Yeah. On a Sunday afternoon. You know what? I'm just going to fly to over Atlanta and then back.
Did I tell you? I told you about the master story, right? That my cousin did.
Yeah. You told me.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. Just go like take the fam.
I would say if I had like the one place you got to keep me from, I love memorabilia. Like if somebody said it's $20,000 to have a George Washington signed baseball, like, which I don't even know if baseball was around back then, but I do love me some George Washington and I love baseball, and those two things together, it's 20 grand. I love memorabilia. Like, Walt Disney drew this picture of Mickey from 1928. I would totally, I think anybody would want that. So for me, I love memorabilia. That's the stuff I got to like stop myself. It's like, Garrett, you really don't need this $300 Nolan Ryan autograph card. Yeah, it would look cool in your office.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need it. And so I always talk myself into like, oh no, I'm just investing this. Yeah. But like I did the same thing with Ronald Acuna Jr. autograph back. Freaking tore his ACL like 3 months later, and I'm thinking this guy's going to be, the next big Hall of Famer. Well, he can't get through a season outside of one great season.
That's it. So far,
and I'm just like, I'm always wrong. No, he ain't. He's not. I don't know, man. He's got a lot to catch up on.
Memorabilia is one too, where you're like, man, this would look so cool for that one person. And you do it kind of you don't know who that person is, but for that one person, you're like, they're going to love this when they walk in my office.
Oh, if you get one person that's like, hey, is that so-and-so? And you're just like, oh,
dude,
that's it.
I mean,
the moment to go on that tangent and tell the story.
I'm telling you, dude, like, I just think that again, my wife and I, we go to Disney quite a bit. Like there's stuff like Disney stuff that, like definitely need to talk my wife out of. Like say, hey, like you really don't need that. And then I turn around and like she's bought it anyways. But it's like that's something like all the things like she really wants to be a Disney Vacation Club member. You ever heard of that, by the way, DVC? You know what that is? You basically lock in a price for 40 years, and you got to put up front anywhere from like, depending on how much you want to get, $25,000 to $70,000.
Oh my God!
Right in front. Like she wants to do that. I'm just like, okay, no, like I like Disney and all, but no, I'm gonna do that. But it's like, well, think about it, Garrett. What if the price of Disney goes up more than $225 a night for these hotels in 30 years, and we're still going to Disney?
I mean, Disney's already gone up in the past 10 years.
I know. And like they just passed a bill for something with the city that they're going to make a fifth park at Disney World. And there's investing $17 billion. I can tell you all about the $17 billion over the next like a couple of like 10, 20 years. They're going to build a fifth park. They're going to update 20% of everything that they own. They're going to build brand new hotels and restaurants. They have more capacity. I mean, they're just going to add on to Disney World. And so Bliss is like, well, we can just lock in this price now. And whenever those new parks come up, we're great. And
tickets are $500. And
yeah.
And I was like, like that's where it's like, that would be a purchase I feel like I could make. And it's like, I don't know if like that was the good purchase.
That's a tough one. Because if you would have bought that like your mind. Yeah, like you said, we'll say 10 years ago, you've been like, oh man, this is so much money. And then nowadays you're like, that's the next 3 years.
Yeah.
If you would have paid like $15,000 and then you get to 2023 through 2026, that's your 3 trips. But if you could have paid that for a lifetime,
it's for 40 years. It's like the selling thing is that, like, if you don't go 1 year, you can use the points and just bump it to the next year. Or you can take from next year's points and bring it to this year if you want like a really ball out at Disney. Like you can, or you can just have like the same trip each year. Like you give it to, it's just a lot of stuff. And so like that would be the one where I'm like, okay, that's an adult, like, I'm thinking of buying freaking lifetime Disney pass.
but you would have to commit. Your daughter better love Disney, dog.
Oh yeah,
I know, and that's the thing is like my wife is like, she doesn't care. Like she's like, listen, we're going for me. I don't.
Yeah. That's her thing.
That's her thing. So, but the idea of, we did talk about Chase and I and Hannah and Bliss and our daughters going to Disney together and doing the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. And
I mean,
like
the whole thing.
like if we like honestly, if we went down there together and like heck, bring your
bring
Hannah's
the whole crew, yeah,
everybody. Oh, we're having a time. I will show you how to have a time at Disney.
yeah.
Especially when the wives take the girls to bed and then we're going out in town. Disney Springs, baby.
Disney Springs,
Girl,
bro.
I tell you, it's
nice, huh?
it's nice.
I've only been once.
It's pricey, but you know what? We know the tricks. We know the deals.
I only went one time. I was 18 years old. We went to Disney World, and we went to, which park did we go to?
You didn't go to all of them?
No, it was Hell on Earth.
Oh, he ain't drank around the world. At that
No. I was 18. I went with my little cousins.
Was it animal themed?
It was.
Animal Kingdom.
No, it wasn't the Animal Kingdom.
Magic
Yeah,
Kingdom,
Hollywood Studios.
Epcot. That's what it was.
Okay, arguably in 10 years ago, probably the worst park you could have gone to.
Sure was. Worst day. It's really hot. Wasn't great. We did go to a place to eat that was amazing.
Yeah.
I can remember what I had. It was
Which
this
country?
humongous bread snapper with underneath it was a baked mashed potatoes. But I mean, this thing was like legit the size of my laptop, like long ways.
Oh my god!
And it was delightful. To this day, it's in my mind, top 5. And this is one of the worst trips I've ever taken in my life. Top 5 meals I've ever had. And then we go on a Disney cruise. And on this Disney cruise, every single morning, they would come over the intercom at 7 a.m. Good morning, boys and girls. And I was like, I'm going to kill that person. Today, I'm going to commit the murders. And then they would blow the horn. And that was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we made the most out of it. Just a bunch of snotty-nosed kids. Best birth control of all time at 18 years old. And then the last night, I tried escargot. I got food poisoning.
Yep.
I puked in those tiny little bathrooms for hours on end, which, I mean, the fact that you can make bathrooms that small is incredible.
On the cruise ships?
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah.
It's a tube, man. I mean,
That's it.
Yeah.
But
Compact.
all I want to say is this, is that if you just go to Disney with us,
It would be a totally different story.
because you're with experienced, I mean, we're talking about seasoned veterans. I mean, barbecue brisket ain't been this season before. Like, we can do it, and we'll show you.
It's crazy, like, to go to like a big city or a theme park with somebody that knows what they're doing. It's drastic difference of a life.
Oh yeah, because you know all the tricks, all the trades, all the things to do, all the little random
What you
stuff.
should and shouldn't spend money on.
Yeah, and like Bliss, I would always say like Disney World's way too expensive. Dude, we can have a ball at Disney World, and like we've been to Disney World so many times since we've been together, and we haven't balled out once really. $2,000 trip, nothing crazy. Like she just knows how to get around cheaply, but also now, when we have a daughter, we'll be doing all the other stuff. And but let's plan that, and we'll make it happen.
We'll go. I'm in. I'm in for the to see the little girls have that kind of look when they saw the princesses. I'll be like, I'm a sucker. Already.
Oh, dude, yeah. You don't think that we're gonna be
sucker.
absolutely doing that?
We're gonna get walked over, dog.
I'm scared.
You boys stand no chance.
No chance.
Y'all
No
stand
chance. But the Superman program's on. It's time to get jacked. It's time to get in stupid shape because that girl's gonna be dating one day.
Oh yeah.
They won't be stronger than me or faster than me.
You got 25 years to train.
I got 25 years to train.
Oh, you got shorter than that, dude.
Yeah.
You got
I was saying
12 years.
He's not gonna let her date until she's
Yeah,
25.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's out of college. I'm gonna go to college where she goes. I'll move there.
You're gonna be like the goofy, extremely goofy movie.
This podcast is gonna do well enough where I can do this remotely.
Yeah, it's like the Mean Girls like movie. It's like she didn't even go here. It's like chasing the back. It's like, no, Professor, you're wrong.
Well, sir, I've been doing media for a while.
Yeah.
I know what marketing is. Anyways. Well, boys, it's a wonderful pod.
It's a good one.
It was
Appreciate
good.
all your loves.
Oh yeah, dude. This was
a good riff today.
This was a riff pod. You know, NBA Finals is on like right now, and we talked a little baseball. So we'll be back on for next pod, same or normally scheduled time.
Thursday.
Thursday.
We'll drop it for you. Feel Good Friday. Woo. I wonder if we'll have an NBA champion under them.
If the Mavs win tomorrow, when's the next game? Or if the Mavs win tonight,
the next
they
game
play
would be
on
Thursday.
Thursday.
Of course.
Oh, of course.
It's always like it's always adding up with our showtime, so it's throwing our shows off a little bit this week, but
it's all right.
Yeah, if you had a chance to listen to our last show, if you're still listening to us now, but check out Kareem Orr and his story. We love having guests on, so if you or anybody you know believes that they'd be a great guest on our podcast and wanting to get their story out, you can reach us pretty much on any of these social media websites at chattitupsports.
Yep, at chattitupsports@gmail.com. Again, like, subscribe, follow all the fun podcast things. We love yins. Bye.
See you next time.
Peace.